I know someone who works in a public high school, and one day this person was going about their business. They passed by the nurse's office, and they noticed that in the nurse's office of this high school was a fishbowl filled with condoms. And as the week went on, the person noticed that the fishbowl got emptier and emptier and emptier, so much so that by Friday afternoon, practically all the condoms were gone. And I was like sitting with that image of a fishbowl filled with condoms in high school, and I was thinking to myself, like, what message does that really send to young people? And this is what I really came up with. I think the message that sends to young people is, you're no better than a dog or an animal. You are always going to be a slave to your instincts and your urges. Don't even bother trying to control them or to master them, because it's impossible. And because nobody expects you to be good, you probably can't even be good. Just be careful instead. And I think more and more about that, and I think about how that flies completely contrary to the vocation to chastity that each and every Christian is called to. The Catechism says chastity means the successful integration of sexuality within the person, and thus the inner unity of man in his bodily and spiritual being. I think about the image of fire in a house. Think about fire in a house. Now, that could mean a couple of different things. Fire in a house means one thing when it's in a fireplace. It provides warmth and heat for the house. It provides a place for family members to come together and spend time together. It means something, though, completely different if it's fire that's spreading up the curtains, spreading through the house, fire that's consuming the house and destroying it. Fire in a house can mean two very different things. That self-mastery that chastity calls us to, the Catechism goes on to talk about an apprenticeship in self-mastery, that we're called to master ourselves, to master our emotions, our passions, our urges, our instincts, and that it takes work. The Catechism talks about that as well, but it's a work that we're all called to. The vocation to chastity is something meant for each and every one of us. It's lived out differently, if you will, according to your state in life. It looks different for a priest than it does for a married couple, but the vocation to chastity is something that's meant for each and every one of us. And it's something that's meant for young people as well. And I think that message that that fishbowl of condoms sends to young people in that high school, I think how it's just such a complete insult to the dignity of human beings, and to young people as well. To say young people are incapable of this, give me a break. You see how young people, how they discipline themselves to learn an instrument and to master it. They discipline themselves with sports so that they can do well enough to get a scholarship, that becomes like the sole motivating factor in their lives, to a fault. It becomes almost an idol. But you see what they're capable with that. You see what they're capable of with sports, with musical talent, with regular old academics. I mean, to say that a young person is incapable of disciplining themselves and mastering themselves, overcoming urges and instincts so that they become integrated, so that they are most fully expressed in a truly human way. It's a complete joke to say that young people are incapable of that, or they should just abandon the endeavor altogether. That vocation to chastity, that's what helps us. Far from being repressed individuals, far from being miserable, it helps us to become most fully human. And that's what Christ and His church invites each and every one of us to. And God bless you.